Hi guys, it's me, Menu Guide, and welcome. Anyway, I'm Menu Guide. This is my kitchen, and this is the RuneScape official cookbook. The gnome cookies! Those were one of my favorites! I actually have to make them again. And I need to recreate the Battle of Atari Sundry with the gingerbread gnomes. The other achievements I need to do are make 4 types of cake in one day. And then making the recipe of disaster quest items. I have to play King's Cup or Duke's Cup with friends. That's going to be hard because I don't really have friends. And I have to make every recipe, which, like I said, we're already going to do that. Not too many more achievements left, just a couple. And just a couple of recipes left. And tonight, the recipes that we're going to be making are spinach roll, wild pie, and then we're going to be starting Asgarnian Ale and purple sweets. Those ones are both master tier recipes. Asgarnian Ale, it doesn't tell you how long it's going to make because this one's measured in weeks. It doesn't actually even really tell you how to make it. It says we could write an entire book on brewing. Here's some ingredients, good luck. So I did buy a craft brewing kit and it comes with a guide. And hopefully not give myself botulism. I'm excited to get into these recipes and we don't have a ton of time to waste. I want to get this cookbook finished before Runefest. I do have some ideas for other RuneScape content. Make sure to like and subscribe. So the oven's preheating for 400 for the wild pie. We don't make the pie in a pie dish. We make the pie in a cake pan. And then we're gonna grease it with lard, but I'm a vegetarian. You guys have been here before. You know I am adjusting every recipe. I think there was one I did and I wasn't able to eat it, so my husband had to taste test that one for me. Pretty much everything I have been making a vegetarian version, however stuffed that might be. And this one is no exception. Wild pie is a meat pie and we're making it vegetarian. I only ever used it in RS3 and that was to kill the Magister when I didn't have 120 Slayer. And we're going to just grease up the cake pan. And make sure I get the bottom kind of good. We're going to mix together 4 pounds of game meat. I've got about 2.5 pounds of various different vegetarian meat substitutes here that I defrosted in the microwave. So you can use quail or venison or partridge. I've got some vegetarian steak, some vegetarian chicken, some vegetarian breakfast sausage, and some vegetarian Beyond Burger. We can mix in some carrot, mushrooms, potatoes, and celery as well to kind of bulk it up. One thing that I've learned from this cookbook is being more of an adventurous eater. We are going to add the game meat, the pancetta, carrots. I feel like at this point we've got over, well, the mushrooms are really light though. This bowl is very, very full. Out of the 2.5 shallots we need, we have 1 shallot and I'm gonna try and split it up between a couple of different recipes that need it. This recipe calls for 2 minced shallots or some shallot in from my shallot bowl. I need 6 cloves of minced garlic. Isn't that so cool? See, it's like coming off kind of, but there's so many layers of it too. I don't have a super high level of patience right now, given how hard it was to peel. So I'm gonna just go like this, and I'm pretty sure this is a real technique. We're gonna add those 6 cloves of garlic. You can add 1 tablespoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. So I'm gonna say that's about a tablespoon of salt. It's about a teaspoon of pepper. We also add mace and fresh thyme. We're gonna do 3 tablespoons of fresh thyme leaves. I'm gonna go get just a tiny bit more. Okay, I'm gonna say, yeah, we're at about 3 tablespoons of thyme. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon fresh rosemary and 2 teaspoons fresh sage. I am just gonna use dried ones for this. I'm gonna add some dried sage and we'll see how it goes. I'm just eyeballing it on that 1 tablespoon of rosemary. All right, so that's a 1/4 cup of dried cherries and a 1/2 cup So we've got all sorts of stuff in here. A lot of meat, a lot of not meat. It's looking similar to the pumpkin. That was a very good recipe. I did enjoy that one quite a bit. I think I need a little bit more salt. It's good. Salty, delicious, wonderful. Oh, was I supposed to add the pancetta? So I just forgot one thing, and that is the pancetta. And you're gonna want 8 ounces. Yeah, we can kind of rip it. I should have pre-ripped my meats. You know what they say, a cap full of Pepsi makes the RuneScape Cookbook good. And now we can set it aside and work on making the pie crust. We're gonna take this mixing bowl. We are going to add 5 cups of plain all-purpose flour. I'm not gonna be so precise. We're gonna say that's okay. It's not full, but 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, 5 cups. Turn the light on, and we will grab one of our saucepans. Okay, I've got 4 tablespoons of butter. And since this is a 2 tablespoon, I'll put 4 of these in. 2, 4, there's 6, and 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Jagex. Yay, 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 Jagex. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. About that much. I've never done anything like this before. And while that's boiling, we can beat together some eggs and milk to make a little pie wash. Getting cracking. So I'm gonna wing it on what looks like a tablespoon to me. That's about good, right? Maybe. All right, yeah. And this is coming together nicely. This is interesting. It actually does say, bring it over high. We're doing good. And we want this to be a rolling boil. So I don't know, it doesn't have any wheels. I'm not sure how we're gonna make it happen. If I'm on a roll, then we can have a rolling boil. All right, it's starting to boil. I don't think I'm gonna stir it just because I want that boil to keep rolling. So we're gonna let that do its thing. I think you're good. We're gonna turn that heat off. Give it just one final stir. Add this to the flour. And then stir that all up. We've worked with shaggy doughs before, but this one does need to be smooth. Wait until it's cool enough to safely handle. At the same time, you can't let it cool too much because this dough becomes very brittle. I'm gonna go ahead and finish mixing with my hands. It doesn't say to mix with your hands. There's pockets of like really hot dough in here, I think. All right, we're gonna roll this out to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. Just like get rid of it. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to just put it in here and pretend I don't have this part? I'm not trusting the process, by the way, guys. Well, the process didn't work though because it said I would have a smooth dough. It's rolling better now, honestly, that I got rid of the other parts. We made a couple different crusts so far. Honestly, the one that I used for red berry pie was kind of bland and flavorless, but it was a good crust. I don't know, it's so thick. Kind of. So here, press it into the pan. I think the hardest part for me about working with pie dough is getting it to be a circle. That's called trimming the overhang. And it does say fill in any patches and cracks. We're gonna make do with what this is, and this is our top crust. Yeah, it's definitely very crumbly. I hope if you guys make it, you have better luck than I do. It's not a circle. It's not even close. It's not even really a pie crust, if we're going to be honest. We're going to send it. But the elite ingredient for this, we can add that, is 2 teaspoons of crushed dragonstone. Say that's probably about good. But the more we mix it in, it honestly is kind of losing its color. But it's still got like a nice-ish purple hue to it. So I'm going to scoop the filling into the pie fill thing. So I might have a bit too much filling here. But the meat pizza I made did end up surprising me with how good it was. So maybe this will be a pleasant surprise. So I'm going to put this totally circle piece of pie crust on the top. There's no edges to crimp. Let's see, just maybe put this piece here and crimp it. Does it look good? No, it's a Franken pie. Cut out a 1-inch circle from the center of the crust. That's my steam circle. But we're gonna brush some egg wash over the top of this and, you know, pray for a miracle or something. And this cooks for 30 minutes, and then we reduce the temperature and cook it for another 90 minutes. This is what it looks like before it goes into the oven. And we're gonna get started on the spinach roll. I've gotten spinach rolls from Yama. That's gotta count for something, right? This is a savory spinach and cheese Swiss roll. We are going to grease a quarter-shaped pan and line it with parchment paper. All right, no, I'm just gonna raw dog the pie in the oven. Things are fine over here, chat. The trick is to stay cool, calm, and collected. And I am none of those things. Turn down for what? I wouldn't buy a shitty tripod and then just spend more money on the same shitty tripod, would I? If you thought Reynolds just made tinfoil, guess what? You're wrong. They make parchment paper too. I'm not sponsored. We were supposed to thaw our frozen spinach. I'm really glad I left it in the freezer this whole time. Wow! It's leaking spinach juice. This spinach doesn't smell very good, I won't lie. I don't like cooked spinach very much. Popeye eats it straight out of a can though. You just want to squeeze out your spinach juices. Gross. Yeah, you've got like a spinach puck. Now, I don't have a food processor, so I'm just going to go put spinach brick in the blender. There's like a micro shell. That's fine though, right? Do you guys see mouse? Ooh, my yolk broke. Okay. Quickly transfer that to the other bowl. Always wash your hands. I'm going to put 4 egg yolks into the food processor. We're also going to add 1/4 cup of oil. Cool. So a 1/4 teaspoon isn't very much. That's like about half a teaspoon. Now I add 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder. 1/4 teaspoon. Onion powder. What's a good substitute for that? I just assumed I owned every spice known to me. Ingredients: cornstarch, chili pepper, maltodextrin, salt, spice, onion powder. We'll add some taco seasoning. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of taco seasoning. Improvise, adapt, overcome. And we're going to blend that until the spinach is finely chopped and the mixture is smooth. So I turned that oven down to 350 so that the pie can continue. We're going to put this to smoothie. I'm going to add the elite ingredient here, which is 1 jug of spring water. So I'm going to fill my jug with water and then pour it in. I want this to be nice and smooth. We're going to let this go for 2 more minutes. We're getting there though. This is getting into a nice smooth texture. This isn't going to work. What was I thinking? There's only 1 beater because I'm still optimistic. All right, we're not peaking yet. My arm got tired, so I had to switch it up, but I think we're getting close. Do I really have to keep going? I don't think this would be the first time I've half-assed something. It's still a little floppy. I'm just gonna grab a spoonful and like put this on top, right? I don't know, and it looks real fluffy. I don't know, it looks like rabies. Did we not put flour in this? Am I crazy? Did I miss an ingredient somewhere? I skipped step 4. Add the flour and baking powder. So there's a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. That's 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. I can already kind of tell the eggs are flopping. It wouldn't be a menu guide cooking recipe if we didn't forget steps or miss ingredients. And we're gonna put our spinach, flour, baking powder, egg white mixture into here and spread that thinly across the bottom. pie is looking pretty good so far. It still has 52 minutes left. We're gonna put this spinach roll in for 12 minutes into a 400-degree oven. And while that's going, we can make the cheese filling. Into the blender, we're gonna make our cheese filling. I've got 8 ounces of mascarpone. Sorry, I was saying it wrong. Mascarpone. And add this. And it calls for like red Leicester cheese or something.
Red Leicester.
I looked it up and it said it's similar to cheddar. This is good. It tastes kind of like a cannoli. Good enough! Now we're gonna add the remaining ingredients, which is half of a small shallot. We're also gonna add the 4 ounces of shredded cheddar and 4 ounces of shredded red Leicester cheese. And in my case, it's all cheddar, but we'll throw that all in here. And we're gonna add some mustard and paprika. So I'm also gonna add 2 teaspoons of paprika and 1 tablespoon of mustard. And half a teaspoon of black pepper. Black pepper? I don't know if this is quite 2 teaspoons worth, but we'll just throw it all in. It does say use whole grain, and I've used whole grain mustard in recipes for the RuneScape Cookbook before. It farted. I don't think this is how it's supposed to look, chat. It's so bubbly. We let that cool for 2 minutes, and we blend this. I was supposed to turn it onto a kitchen towel. I'm not sure what's happening here. But I've got a kitchen towel. I've got a spinach cake. So we're gonna spread the cheese filling onto the cake. I mean, the cheddar did blend very nicely into this, I will say. This is like the first recipe that I've actually thought was gross. This is a lot of mixture. We're putting it on thick. So which way do I start rolling? Well, there's probably hairs on the kitchen towel is what it is. I mean, okay. That actually didn't crack. It rolled quite well. Got a slice. Ooh. It's not good, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I might be getting an aftertaste of the mustard. We've made a spinach roll. Let's dig in. It has way too much cheese filling. I think I didn't fully incorporate the meringue. It tastes like a little eggy in the cake. I don't like it. I'm really trying. I gave it 3 bites. I'm throwing the rest out. I will say that's probably my least favorite recipe so far, if not one of my least favorites. But I'm going to put this meat pie back in the oven for 52 minutes. We're going to brew. Trouble brewing. Kind of jar. This is one that I'm a bit scared of just because it could be lethal if not done correctly. This might be my steeping cloth. We've got yeast. We've got the sanitizer here. Rice, Bavarian wheat malt extract. It's got hops. It's got, I don't know, this looks like barley maybe. Fennel, I'm not sure. Specialty grains. Pour as close to a gallon of water into my stock pot as I can. I'm going to place the pot on my burner and turn it up to high. 10-pound bag of ice? Oh, do I need that now? If you drink a lot of craft beers, you're probably gonna love this. I am supposed to put the specialty grains in the grain steeping cheesecloth. Like a little ball sack. Okay, we're at 155. Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes. We have to monitor this temperature these whole 20 minutes. Okay, we're not gonna sanitize mouths. This is a controlled environment, my dear. I think we do have to get going on that last recipe. And this last recipe is going to be the purple sweets. Now, it's been a hot minute since I've used this Dutch oven. But that's where we're going to put our 16 tablespoons of butter. And this is going to be another very temperature-controlled process. And they're going to be like an ube caramel. So that's kind of fun, right? And then we're also going to add 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Okay, that's 1 cup, and that's 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Half a cup of whole milk. I'm going to turn that heat completely off. to bring it back down. All right, so half a cup of light corn syrup, 2.5 cups of granulated sugar. That's like 1 cup. That's our second cup. So half a cup of light brown sugar. Okay, so we packed it well. That goes in there. Medium low until the butter melts. And stir this until we can melt our butter. That corn syrup is pretty thick. Once the butter is melted, we do have to monitor the temperature. Why does my candy thermometer come with a wrench? I don't like that, guys. So it's literally a 10-degree difference between my candy being hard versus my candy being soft. That's very stressful. Yeah, I can understand now why this is a master tier recipe. I don't think we'll get to see how that pie turns out, unfortunately, but I will keep you guys posted. I'm gonna be in my kitchen all night. Does this like go down? That's why it came with a screwdriver. So we lefty-loosey it? No, it just slides down. For some reason, it says it's 350. So I was fucking with the nut and I shouldn't have been. I dropped it in my candy. Tastes kind of good, I won't lie. Honestly, I'll say that's about 166. I'll say it's pretty much calibrated now. I shouldn't have fucked with it. But we're just gonna let this melt and stir for several hours. That needs to come back down to 155. My pie is in the oven. We're doing great. So this candy is definitely getting thicker. The temperature is going up a little. I'm mildly concerned that I didn't calculate it correctly. Yeah, we're panicking. This is like almost starting to get a real boil bubble, and when it does, it's gonna come off. And that's done, but I haven't had a chance to try it yet because I'm so busy dealing with this frickin' mess. So fun fact, my thermometer was not calibrated correctly. So this is what we're looking at. It's actually completely burnt. So I'm slowly stirring in my malt extract little by little. The not clumping thing is difficult because once we add it, it does immediately kind of want to clump. There's a little piece. So we gotta just break those clumps up. It doesn't smell very good, I won't lie. As you can see, it didn't come out very well. I don't know if that's just because mouse. The filling itself is fine. Not great, but it's okay. Hey guys, it's me, Menu Guide. It's like 1:03 in the morning, an ice bath here, and we are trying to bring this down to less than 75 degrees. Just peeking on the beer. Yeah, some sediment at the bottom, a little bit of bubbles at the top. I don't know, it's been like a day. It's currently Sunday evening. What the frick? Here's to hoping I don't die of botulism. Skibbity Ohio chat Rizzler. Why is there sediment in my tubing? So it really should be bottling day. It's looking like this, but I still have to get that tubing cleaned out. We'll figure it out. So just a heads up of how this is going. It's been a long time, but it's going a lot better, and I'm pretty sure this is mostly correctly calibrated. So it's like 9 o'clock. This is taken many hours. We're still not at 250. Again, I don't trust 1000% my ability to calibrate a thermometer. This is a master tier recipe. I think it really tests your patience. Hi guys, it's me, Menu Guide. This is my caramel. It's very purple. So I chilled them and I'm cutting them. It's hard to cut, especially one-handed. They're too soft, I feel like, to be hard caramels, but they're definitely too hard to be soft caramels. But then we wrap them in wax paper. Tastes pretty good, but it's just a little too hard to be a chewable caramel.